Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Ro here. Thank you for visiting You Grow Ro. If this is your first time here, I hope you'll consider subscribing at the end of this video. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you. Today, I'm tackling a topic that I had on my list of things to do for a while now. They were talking about sustainability, and one of their conversations centered around ways that you could get seeds for your upcoming growing seasons without spending money. And so that's where the topic that I'm about to approach comes in handy. Let's talk about it in just a moment. So, seed swapping has now become a crucial step towards food security and sustainability. As we step into 2025, the world faces new challenges, a unique set of challenges, including the new government policies, supply chain disruptions, and a shift in economic landscapes due to the tariffs. These factors have made food access and affordability a little more unpredictable for some of us than before. But amidst these uncertainties, one powerful grassroots solution is gaining momentum, and that is seed swapping. So today I want to talk to you about basically just the basics of seed swapping, the etiquette, if you will. So why does seed swapping matter more now than ever? Well, because one, it's protecting the food security amid, the supply chain issues. These recent disruptions in the global supply chains have led to price fluctuations and limited availability to certain crops. So imported seeds are becoming more and more expensive, as we heard from YouTubers such as House Tools, House Seeds, not sure, and by Gardner. And local varieties are sometimes hard to find. So seed swapping allows gardeners and farmers to bypass these issues by sharing locally adapted, resilient plant varieties directly within their communities. The second reason is it strengthens the local and sustainable agriculture. So with these changing policies under the new administration and the shifting economic priorities, self-sufficiency is more important than ever. Swapping seeds and regional crop adaptation, biodiversity, and independence from large agricultural community or corporations. So instead of relying on mass-produced, commercially controlled seeds, communities can cultivate plants suited to their own climates and conditions. Also, avoiding the financial burden of the tariffs on the agricultural imports is very important. So these tariffs on imported agricultural goods, including seeds, could lead to higher costs for farmers and home growers. We've already heard from some that yes, this is a thing, and yes, it is real, and yes, the price fluctuations are substantial. So as the government adjusts trade policies, buying seeds from outside the country may become less viable. So sharing and trading seeds locally keeps the cost low and ensures access to a diverse range of crops without financial strain. In addition, seed swapping is a good way to preserve heirloom varieties and open pollinated varieties. As the industrial agricultural pushes hybrid and genetically modified varieties, which I'm not opposed to, I have bought many of those seeds before, we still feel, though, that many traditional heirloom seeds are disappearing. And seed swapping allows growers to save and pass down rare and resilient plants species, preserving genetic diversity and safeguarding our food system against future uncertainties. Seed swapping can also build stronger, more connected communities. Beyond its practical benefits, seed swapping fosters relationships and knowledge exchange, whether it's through local gardening clubs, farmers markets or online forums, people can build networks, share their growing tips, and strengthen their food sovereignty together. So to begin seed swapping, you need to join a community or start one yourself. Personally, I ended up joining the different types of Facebook groups that center around seed swapping in the categories that I care about, such as tomatoes, seed swapping for peppers, seed swapping for herbs, seed swapping for Midwest varieties, things that would grow in colder climates like where I am, that kind of thing. So you need to join some kind of clubs or at least create one of your own, possibly online. I would check with my local library as well. They might have some clubs there that you might want to join, or you could check with your local extension as well. They might also know about some seed swapping events that would be of interest to you. And you need to engage online with seed exchange groups to connect with growers from across the country. Now, I'm not telling you to send, seeds to Lithuania or from the U.S. to Lithuania or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you might be able to get something different to, again, go along with that biodiversity from somebody across the country from you, as opposed to what you would get it from somebody who is near you. Doesn't necessarily mean that it won't grow well for your climate, and it's always nice to keep trying new and different things. You're going to have to save seeds from your garden and learn proper labeling and storage techniques. This is so important. So you want to save seeds from heirloom and open pollinated seeds are the best, since they're going to grow true to type, meaning they're not going to fall back to one of their parents if they're a hybrid. After, I believe it's 50 years, a seed is considered an heirloom. And you want to avoid hybrid seeds because they may not produce consistent results. Again, they might revert back to what one of their parent seeds were. You want to choose healthy, mature seeds from strong plants to ensure good germination. Do not save seeds from sad, sorry, terrible looking plants and fruits. Don't do that. You want to choose the healthiest specimens you have. And you might also consider native and regionally adapted varieties for better success. That would mean that these seeds have acclimated to wherever you are, your climate, your locale, and will probably grow better for you than, say, its counterpart that hasn't been grown in your area. Talk about how to label seeds. Here's a very few things you want to make sure that you include. So you want to make sure that you include the plant name and the variety. So, for instance, you would want to put Brandywine tomato. You would also want to take note of the harvest date to track your seed viability. So if you harvested those seeds in 2024, make sure you write that down, and so more on the labeling. If you have room, you would want to add some growing instructions. So maybe, briefly say something about the lighting requirements, the water requirements, and the soil preferences. Mention any special traits. So if you found that it was very disease resistant in your garden, make sure you say that. If it was pollinator friendly, if it was covered in bees or something like that, then make sure you say that. And if possible, include the place of origin, so where the seeds were grown. Presumably, if you're saving the seeds, they were grown where you are, but if you received them from somebody else, make sure you make note of that so we know where the seeds came from. Now, these seeds that you save, you want to share them with your friends and family to expand access to resilient plant varieties. And we're calling them resilient plant varieties because you've already grown them in your area. So they're already at least one generation getting acclimated to where they are. Now, when you're sharing those seeds, there's a good likelihood that you'll be mailing those seeds, and I'm talking about in the USA. I don't know about any place else. But you want to use small padded envelopes to protect the seeds from damage. If they put those seeds through a machine, a lot of times they do get crushed if you don't have a padded envelope. Some people say you want to avoid using plastic bags and to use paper envelopes instead to prevent moisture buildup, but I have not subscribed to that. I'm still on the plastic bags. I've not had any problems with this moisture getting into those bags. However, I have had them save my behind when being shipped and the package gets wet somehow. With them being in a plastic bag, the seeds don't get wet. So I've had that save my rear end a couple of times. So I'm still on the plastic bag end, but some people say you need to go with the paper envelopes. I think make your own decision. You want to check the USDA regulations from mailing certain seeds across state lines. Generally, somebody will tell you if like a seed or a plant is invasive. In that case, you would want to look up and make sure that your state allows that seed to be shipped into that state, or that plant to even be grown in your state. Again, especially if it's something that's invasive. You want to include a note with the seed details and your contact information for future swaps. I do it that way, and I haven't had anybody call me and say like, oh, hey, I want to swap some more seeds or whatever, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to include your information in case of future seed swaps. And then you might want to consider paying for tracking or insurance for your rare and your more valuable seeds. Also, make sure to support your local seed libraries that distribute seeds to your neighbors and for free to help them grow their own food. So as economic and environmental conditions shift, seed swapping is more than a gardening trend. It's almost a necessity for resilience, sustainability, and self-reliance. 2025 is the year to take action, grow our own food, and secure a future where our communities thrive. Are you ready to start swapping? Let's build something powerful, one seed at a time. Let me know if you'd like me to refine or expand on any part of this. All right, friends, and that does it. That is the end of my brief spiel on seed swapping 101, kinda. Like I said, if you have any questions, you want me to refine anything, please be sure to leave those comments down below. I will do what I can to provide a solution for you. And that does it for now. I will see you guys in another video on another day. Until then, happy growing, my friends. Or shall I say, happy seed swapping.